When I drove Mazda's brand new Mazda 6, I was flat out impressed on both the interior quality and the exterior design. And now Mazda tells us that the same thing is taking place on their new compact SUV, the CX-5. So let's take a look at this brand new 2014 model and check the tech inside. So the model we're driving today is the Grand Touring model, which means it has every single imaginable option on this car. It has the larger engine, the leather trim, all the navigation, all the driver aids, every single thing that you can get on a Mazda CX-5 is on here. The CX-5 is competing in the same class as RAV4 and CR-V, and this car seems like it's on the low-end scale of luxury and refinement than all those other cars that I've driven. This one seems more rough edge and more unfinished. I think it'll be a best way to put it up there. Is an unfinished car, but don't worry because all this tech inside on this model kind of equals out and maybe even goes over the negative points I have to make. Okay, so the same TomTom system is on the CX-5. It's the same one, the easy peasy system that we had on the Mazda 6. Now there is a very interesting point to make about this. On the Mazda 6, if you can remember, there was a control knob in the center console could control the display so you can input information and addresses and all that kind of junk. On the CX-5, space is kind of tight, so they got rid of the control knob. Now, if you can look at this display here, it is inside the dashboard. It's recessed inside, which means when you're driving, it's kind of hard to reach over there. It's just, if they made it flush with the actual dashboard, it would be a lot more user accessible for the driver and also the passenger. It is kind of dug inside this dashboard. Other than that, it is the same TomTom system as the Mazda 6. Inputting street addresses is basically the same way. You can either do it on the screen or you can use the voice command option.
Ready.
Navigation.
Navigation. Say a command.
Drive to an address.
For directions to an address, please say the full address including the city and state.
235 2nd Street, Nashville, Tennessee. Now, if you don't try on this car, you can get this car with just AM, FM, and a simple aux port. That's basically innovation for 1989. Luckily, this car is spec'd up with all the media inputs you can think of. You have AM, FM, which is very casual, usual. You have Sirius XM, Bluetooth hands-free, and Bluetooth streaming. That's a very good plus. Pandora, if you connect your phone via Bluetooth as well. You have a USB port that's hooked up into the center console. You can hit the more button, you have more Pandora options and the CD option. Now, the only thing I don't like about this display and information is it looks kind of aftermarket. It doesn't fit Mazda. It doesn't really fit any of the design that Mazda put onto the carport. They just kind of gave it to like Kenwood or something, and now it kind of looks like a horrendous interface. And if you're wondering, HD radio is also on board the Grand Touring model. The CX-5 has a 2.5-liter SkyActiv G engine, which means it's their second generation SkyActiv engine. It's cleaner, it runs smoother, and they finally got that pre-detonation that everyone was worried about, having a high compression ratio engine. This one has a hole basically drilled in the piston, which means pre-detonation is basically eliminated from the whole engine. This one is a very smooth revving, a lot of torque, and 184 horsepower. It's not a lot of power. You kind of realize that this car was never really intended to be an off-road type of car. Even though it is an SUV, it does not have four-wheel drive. It only has a four-cylinder, and 184 horsepower on tap is not enough to get this car out of any kind of tricky situations like in mud. Fuel economy is very good. It gets around 28 mpg all around. I've never gotten under 25. Even with my kind of lead footing, this car still delivers pretty good mpg. Driver aids are there, but not in ginormous quantity. You do have blind spot detection on both of the side view mirrors, which means it's very helpful on the highway cruise. It's very helpful at night as well for those who don't turn on their headlights when they're driving. And also, it does have parking sensors as well as a rear backup camera. It's generous enough, it gets through whatever you need to do, and well, I mean, it makes it a little bit of a safer car, but this is not a car where you can just sit in and expect it to do everything for yourself. So spec this up to RAV4 and CR-V, and I'm pretty sure you can get away with more technology than those for every single dollar you spend. This car, I mean, it's not the champion of SUVs. It's not meant to be the champion of SUVs. It's for the soccer mom or just someone who wants a very good car for not a lot of money.